was instilled with a duty for a very long time to honor my ancestors through achievement. And I was told from a very young age that the only thing your ancestors are interested in is achievement. Even to this day, when I do podcasts, people repeatedly talk about my father. If I wasn't successful, he wouldn't be spoken about anymore. He died 9 years ago, and he was a good chess player, but no one's really that interested in chess. The reason he lives on is because I'm so monumentally successful that people are interested in my origin story, and he is mentioned. The reason I will live forever is because my son will be so monumentally successful that they'll talk about how he could have been such a perfect specimen of man, how he was raised, and they will mention me. If you give a shit about your ancestry, and if you give a fuck about your family, and you're not a selfish person, and you want them to exist out in the ether for reality, for the eternity of reality, it is your duty to be successful yourself. Then you have a duty to be massively, monumentally successful, to show homage to your ancestors. I find it amazing there are people out here today who are going to sit and say, oh, I'm sad, I'm too depressed, I don't want to work hard. Do you understand that only 200 years ago, there were peasants out working a field, starving, surviving the Black Death, surviving the plague, struggling to exist just to reproduce, so that 200 years later, you can be the end of their bloodline, for you to sit on your ass and do fucking nothing.
Do you believe in clinical depression? Let's have that conversation.
Sure, let's have it. Yeah, no, I do not believe in clinical depression, and you're never going to, I'd love for you to try and convince me it's real. It'll be quite interesting.
Do you think it's an invention of the US pharmaceutical industry to sell you pills?
Well, I think that's certainly part of it. I think that's part of it, but I've had this conversation with a bunch of people, and my basic premise is that I refuse to believe in things that take power away from me. If you are in a haunted house and you believe in ghosts, you're scared of the haunted house. If you're in a haunted house and you don't believe in ghosts, you're just in a house and you don't care. So I don't like the idea, when someone explains to me the idea of one day waking up and being miserable and not wanting to live anymore, and it's nothing to do with my circumstances and I have no power over it, and no matter how good my life is, I'm still gonna feel terrible and I'm gonna wanna die. That's not an idea I subscribe to. Feeling depressed is real.
Yeah.
Depression as a disease, I do not subscribe to. The idea, I believe, that if you feel depressed, something is depressing you, and you should try your best to fix it. You should take control of your life and do your best to fix it. The idea, but they don't say that. They don't talk that. They say depression like it's this magic thing that comes out the sky and it gets in your brain, and you're sad no matter what, and there's nothing you can do about it, and you need to only take pills. And I think that's a very bad way to look at the world, and that's a bad idea to subscribe to. And if you start to feel depressed, let's say your girl leaves you and you start to feel depressed, but you believe in the idea of depression, you're now going to start diagnosing yourself as clinically depressed, self-hypnosing yourself into hypnotizing yourself into being clinically depressed. And it's amazing how you can speak things into existence. I cannot become depressed because I don't believe in it. Even if I had a chemical imbalance in my brain, I do not believe in depression. That's just who I am as a person. I don't believe in it. I do not believe in things that take power away from me. So, and people sit there and they try very hard to convince me it's real, which is actually quite interesting because it's always usually depressed people who sit there and try very hard to defend this idea. I don't want to stop working. I don't want a holiday. I don't want to relax. Is this relaxing? I'm going to try and relax for the first time in my life. We'll do this here live on the podcast. Ready?
Yeah.
Ready? Am I supposed to want to do that? What was that? What was it? Like, what, is that it? Is that the dream?
Doing nothing.
Is that the goal? Like, and if I'm not on my phone, my brain is preoccupied and anxious about what's happening on my phone, so it's better to just be on it. Like, I don't want to relax. I don't want to stop.
Ain't no rest for the wicked.
No, I don't want to stop. That's why nobody will ever beat me, because all these other people, they want to take time out of their life.
They're working to relax.
They're working to relax, or they want to go on a date with that. I'm at the point now where I'd look at a beautiful woman and go, I can go on a date with her and she's absolutely gorgeous and perhaps we'll fall in love and it'll be great. But you know what? I'd rather work. I wake up, I check my phone, I go through my phone for about half an hour. I then go and I start training. As I train, I stay on my phone in between sets. I'm a phone addict, I guess you can call it, but that's where all the important things happen. Yeah. I have an empire that spans across 25 countries. Like I'm on my phone. I know that for peace of mind, I should use my phone less. I don't want peace of mind. I want chaos.
You want to conquer.
I want to conquer the earth.
Yeah.
Genghis Khan did not want peace of mind. Yeah. If he did, he would have stopped. I don't want peace of mind. I wake up, I train, I stay on my phone, then I begin working. I'm doing a podcast now. If I'm not doing a podcast, or if I'm not driving, or if I'm not fighting, I'm online. And I live my entire life online. If I'm awake, I'm working. If I sit to have shisha tonight at 9 or 10 p.m. and there's a whole bunch of hot girls around and my brother's there and we're all chilling and we're talking, I'm doing all of that while I'm on my phone.
Yeah.
I am working at the same time. I can easily sit and manage a multi-million-dollar empire and talk to some bimbo at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm not an idiot. It's not hard. I work. All I do is work. All I do is work. I don't know how else to say it to you. People meet me and they're like, I'm surprised. I thought you'd be like this. I'm surprised how like quiet you are and you're just working. Correct. I have a very, very large and vast empire across huge swaths of the world and different industries. And anything I've ever wanted, if I want a beautiful female or a Bugatti, another one, or $100 million or whatever, I'm going to get it via my phone. Yeah. So I work. That's who I am. That's what I do. It's just mind-bending to me that people are walking through this world without understanding a very simple life hack. If I wake up and I want to learn how to bake cupcakes, my instant reaction is, who can bake cupcakes? Let me go talk to the person who can bake cupcakes.
It's easy, really, isn't it? It's easy.
It can be pretty simple.
It's a shortcut, isn't it?
It's a shortcut. So I want to make money. Well, who makes a bunch of money and who's telling people how to make money? Well, let me go listen to them. Let me get closer to them. But people just have this arrogance inside them. They don't want to. And I think a lot of the problem with people, especially in the world today, is they misunderstand the difference between a dream and a plan. And nothing good in your life is ever going to happen by accident. If you see a guy in fantastic shape, you don't say, how'd you get in great shape? And he goes,
it just happened.
Oops, I just fell. And no, he ate a specific way. He trained a specific time. He did specific things for a specific outcome. And it's the same with finances. And most people who are broke, if you say, do you want to be rich? Yeah, I want to be rich. How are you going to get rich? One day,
I'll win the lottery.
Yeah, dumb shit. You have no plan. You have no plan whatsoever. No actionable steps. No, you're not doing things daily. You're just hoping some point in the future God's going to just dump it on your doorstep. Guess what? It ain't going to fucking happen. And unless you have a plan, a specific plan, I had a plan. Everything was like, okay, today we have to do day after day after day until you get there. And this is what most people don't have because they're too arrogant or too lazy. I don't think it's stupid. I think most people, if you laid out a plan and they tried their very best and they were willing to learn, could do it. I've never taken a drug in my life. I've never tried cocaine in my life. I've never tried weed in my life, ever.
Wow.
I drink a lot of coffee. I smoke cigars, bit of vodka, but I've never tried a narcotic in my life.
Wow.
So God has given me an endless source of power. And when people come to me and say, oh, this happened, I'm really sad, or my heart broke, or this bad thing happened to me, I say, good. Thank the Lord that he's given you this endless source of motivation. You're wasting it. Yeah. That's your problem. But it's been given to you. Nitrous oxide has been given to you. You just have to use it in the correct way. So I'm the luckiest man in the world because all the bad things that happened to me have given me all the building blocks to become the most fantastic man on the face of the planet. Well, shisha's tobacco.
Yeah.
Cigars are tobacco.
Right.
It's a plant. We basically kind of know what it is.
Yeah.
I don't smoke weed at all, but I kind of get it's a plant, whatever,
yeah.
Right? The reason I don't touch any narcotics at all is because, firstly, I was a professional athlete and my blood was tested. Okay. I'm now 35 years old without ever having tried a drug ever. Is there any point in starting now?
No.
Like I've lived my whole life without ever trying these things. Why start now? Also, when I look at some of the most degenerate, stupid, ridiculous people on the planet,
they're all drug users.
They all use drugs. It's not very often I meet a man who's completely head to toe, has his life in order, and he likes drugs. A lot of rich people take cocaine, yes, and I do know them and some of them, but I still think they'd be better without cocaine. You know, that's just genuinely a vice. But if you go to a festival full of brokies, full of peasants and peons, full of people who don't try very hard at life, and they sit there and they idolize these false idols given to them by the Matrix, and they stand in a crowd full of millions of other people like an insignificant peasant and jump up and down, wow, Diplo.
Vi har fastnat i ett system som är beroende av fossila bränslen. Vår mat, våra flygplan och våra hem. Allt är tillverkat eller transporterat med hjälp av fossila bränslen. På Vattenfall hjälper vi samhället att bryta sig loss från beroendet. Vi arbetar för fossilfrihet. Upptäck hur på vattenfall.se/fossilfrihet.
På Sinful tycker vi att det roligaste sättet att hålla värmen på är under täcket. Just nu kan du spara 50% på årets fräckaste julklappar på sinful.se.
Oh, wow, whoever.
Skippism,
yeah, just complete peasant mindset. If you look at these people and say, do you like drugs? Guess what they say?
I love it.
Oh yeah. So I don't want to go anywhere near the peasantry, right?
Yeah.
So, because that's what it is. It's disgusting and it's peasantry. So that's why I don't take drugs. And the reason I don't like vape is because I don't think that vape is even remotely natural. Because a tobacco is a plant, okay, cool. But if you manage to put chemicals inside of a little container that tastes like blueberry ice. Yeah. What even is blueberry ice? Yeah. It's not even a flavor. It's just words. Yeah. And then you taste it and you go, that does taste like blueberry ice.
Yeah.
How did they pull that off? Yeah. I can't believe it's possibly good for me. Add in the price that it cost. Add in the fact that it costs $1 and comes deep from the heart of China. Like you think they give a shit about the West just puffing away on this petrochemical? They don't care.
They're happy.
Yeah. So if you're gonna smoke, at least smoke something. It was grown.
Yeah.
The reason I smoke is not because I'm addicted, because I have an iron mind and I can blink and cure my brain and stop smoking completely. In fact, there's certain places I go to in the world where I don't smoke for months at a time. I'm not addicted to anything. The reason I smoke is because nicotine is good for your testosterone level. Okay. That's the reason I smoke. I smoke because I like the drug of nicotine, because nicotine is actually positive. The reason I drink coffee is not because I'm addicted, because caffeine is a miracle drug.
Yeah.
Caffeine
good for your heart.
Caffeine's a miracle.
Yeah.
I drink endless coffee, and of course the Matrix will come along and say too much coffee is bad for you, too much meat's bad for you. They say anything to make you weak and stupid. Yeah. Caffeine, people don't understand that coffee changed the world. Before coffee and caffeine, we were we were living our lives in rhythm with the sun. We got up when the sun came up, we went down when the sun came down.
We couldn't go against that.
We didn't go against it very much. With the Industrial Revolution and caffeine, the introduction of caffeine, we now had night shifts, we now had double shifts. Think about this. If a job introduces a coffee break, if a company says, stop working and drink this coffee, that's because the coffee you have is worth the time they let you not work, because you make up for it plus some. That's how powerful it is. And have always been competing with each other. Even now, right now, we compete with each other. I don't buy Ferraris to drive fast. I do sometimes, but if I'm in London traffic, it's not to go quick. No. It's to show everyone else I'm richer than them. That's what it is. It's a never-ending competition. I don't wear a big diamond Patek with fucking $500,000 to tell the time. I tell the time on my phone. I do it because I'm loaded. And this is actually what's interesting about the world, because the world's changed. Men used to go to war and fight each other in physical combat, and now we don't, because we're more civilized in some regards. Violence is still the bottom line of society, but we try and avoid it. Men are constantly doing combat by showing each other how we can move world with money. We're constantly in combat because of our status. 99% of what men do is for status. We want to be in good shape for status. We want the fast car for status. We want the nice house for status. We want the diamond watch. We want the hot girl. This is all for our status. Look at me. I'm the big dog. This is how we compete with each other. If you're going to be a dude who pretends that's not true, or be a dude who doesn't want to compete, your life's going to fucking suck. Humans have always done this. It's just like, no, I'm the boss. No, I'm the boss. Okay, then let's find out who's the boss. And now we live in a world where I think that status is the new form of combat, and the true expression of testosterone is showing you can move the world with money. I knew a guy who wanted to be a musician. And I'd meet him and I'd say, how are things going? He'd go, bro, nearly finished my song, gonna finish my album, and we're gonna make a lot of money. I was like, cool. 6 months later, I'd see him, how's things? Hey, bro, almost done with the album. I was like, it's been 6 months, an album. Yeah, but you don't understand, you gotta mix the track, it takes time. Mixing a track, okay, we have computers, 10 minutes? Okay, two days. It's been 6 months, bro. And I sit to him and say, it can't take this long. You're just smoking weed. You're not working. And he's like, no, you don't know. So I thought, okay, I'll make a track. So I made a song. I wrote some lyrics and hit a guy up, got a beat, got a mic. I know I'm not talented. Yeah. Talked, blah, blah, blah. I made a song in 2.5 hours. And I started releasing these songs I made in 2 hours. And it was just to spite that guy, just to teach him a lesson about how speed works. It's funny because, obviously not because of my musical talents, but because of my influence everywhere else, I got millions of views on my videos. Yeah. So I beat him. Yeah. So it's like, how many views you got? Yeah. 0. And it's not because the songs are good, not because I think I'm a musical genius, but because I'm Tate. But they're like an hour, 2 hours. I threw them together, and it was just a lesson in speed to make sure that I wasn't making any mistakes. And he was telling me it genuinely took months. I knew he was wrong, but the only way you truly know is to do. So I was like, this has to be a lie. So I made a song in 2 hours. I made a video in 3 hours, and boom, boom. From 9 a.m. till 1 p.m., bang, millions of views, done. And he's still talking about his album. He's probably still talking about it today.
It's
probably doesn't even exist. Comes out tomorrow. Yeah, be ready.
It's coming.
Yeah. Anybody can be as rich as they want to be. That's the true thing about it. Then we talk about the 3 things that hold people back. I believe there's only 3 reasons people are not rich. One of 3 reasons. They're either stupid, arrogant, or lazy. Stupid is actually the smallest category. People think, oh, you know, there's a lot of stupid people. There are, but I know a lot of stupid people with a lot of money, right? There's so much money in the world. To be too stupid to generate money, I think is less than 5% of the population who are genuinely too dumb to ever make a good wage. Then you have arrogant and lazy, and these are the 2 most common. Lazy because people just, oh, you know, but I need time to myself. Oh, you know, but it's the evening. Or, you know, it's hyper competitive. There are people who do not need times to themselves. If you're going to be lazy in any regard, you have to understand there are people like me who are billionaires who work 18 hours a day. When I finish this, I get into my car and I open my laptop and I work on my way to my next appointment. And then I'm going to work all night till the day I go. When I go to sleep, I close my laptop and I'm asleep a minute later. I work. That's all I do. Lazy is a big problem because people go, oh, but I just want to relax. If you just want to relax, that's fine. But you're competing against people who just don't want to relax and you're going to lose. The main reason people are not rich is because they are arrogant. 50% of people are brutally arrogant. And I'll give you an example. I have a school where I teach people how to make money online. I sit here as a billionaire and I sit and say, I will teach you how to make money online. Anybody, 18 Modern Wealth Creation Method. And people will sit there in their brutal arrogance and as a brokey with no money and go, yeah, but can he really teach me? I have everything you've ever fucking dreamed of. And I have all the money. You have nothing, and you're so arrogant that you believe you know more than me, or that you can do it without me, or that I don't know how to teach you. The arrogance of people is truly mind-bending. If you know so much, why are you broke? You obviously don't know. If I want to learn how to box, I wouldn't walk into a boxing gym, find a guy who can box, and go, yeah, you know, not bad, but can he really punch? Everything great that's happened to me in my life, someone taught me. I had a kickboxing coach. My dad was my chess coach. You get taught things. To sit there and think you're too good to learn. Well, this is the problem. Most people are broke. I've been so difficult on myself. It's very hard for me to look at somebody who's refused to be difficult on themselves and see them as my equal or feel sympathy or pity for them. Why would I feel pity for somebody who took the easy route when I took the hardest possible route? Yeah. I took the hardest possible way to be the man I am, and you were too big of a and now you want me to feel sorry for you? I don't feel sorry for you. Yeah. I don't feel sorry for these people. And because as a man, you can be anything you decide you want to be. That's the beauty of being a male. You can build your character completely from the ground up, just like a video game. Every single thing about me that people respect, I built. I was not born a world champion kickboxer. I was not born this intelligent or intellectual. I was not born this rich. I was not born this strong. I was not born this confident. I was not born this interesting. I was not born this charismatic and humble and gorgeous and tall and strong and sexy. I was not born none of these things. I became these things myself, so I deserve all the spoils of war. And anybody who decides they don't want to work hard enough to become those things, then they deserve to sit and accept they're my inferior. Yeah. That's their problem. I couldn't sleep when I was broke. And this is what we're talking about, the being uncomfortable and how it can motivate you. When I didn't have enough money to buy whatever I wanted, I couldn't fall asleep at night because I understood there are people out there that did, and I didn't see them as better than me. And I thought, why are these people who I don't see as my superior living an experience that I can't live? And it bothered me to the point where I could not sleep. So yeah, that was real. When you talk about suffering mentally, I don't really consider that suffering. I have had a very painful life. I still think to a degree I do, but that's self-inflicted. But I can't imagine living any other way. I can't imagine living in this idea, this utopian, every day, just, you know, girls, drink, hedonism. I don't want that. Yeah, it's degenerate. I think the only thing you can do that's not degenerate is usually be fighting a battle or solving a problem. Growth. Yeah, growth. Yeah, so you need to either fight a battle or solve a problem to avoid degeneracy, which means I'm constantly looking for them. I'm currently one of the largest battles a man can possibly take on. I'm taking on the Matrix, the most powerful people on the planet. Right, yeah. So, yeah, is my life difficult? Yeah. Am I complaining about that? No. In fact, I'd hate it for it to be any other way.